So today I'm going to give you a brief introduction on the grant program and how this is a Metaverse program for post-pandemic resilient recovery in education, enterprise, communities, and for generating jobs. Just for you that may not be familiar with the term, in short, VR, AR space in which users can interact in a computer-generated environment and other users. That's the short definition. This is a program that we start in July 1st, 2021. I was invited to the Asia Leadership Conference, and this with a number of heads of states. And this is actually a short version of a 45 minutes presentation. This one will take between 12 and 13 minutes. That if you want to listen to the whole thing, there's a link to this that you'll get the presentation and you can listen to the full version. In Korea, I met with a number of heads of states that were interested in this program. We rolled it out starting in Asia Pacific. And then the last 3 weeks I've been on the road in Latin America, and now I'm packing my bags for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So who is working with this and what do they do? So this is me, and this is the Minister of Education, Ecuador. We are working with a 60,000 rollout for all areas, academic institutions in Tibet, as well as universities and elementary schools. We also do a huge project now in Panama. This is me meeting with the Minister of Education in Panama. And the reason for that is because we already have a grant that has been ongoing for a while with the leading university in Panama. And the minister was so impressed with the outcomes. So therefore, we were invited to this. Likewise, in Jamaica, I met the Minister of Education. The reason for that being that we've been working with University of West Indies for a longer period. And they've heard about this program and now want to expand it nationally. Likewise, in Bahamas, where we are working with the local academic institutions, and we had the pleasure to meet the Minister of Education to do the same. And I'm going now to 12 countries. I was just in Brazil also. There we're working with the world's largest academic institution in Tibet with 4 million students called Senai. And in Europe, we have meeting in Germany. We are also onwards moving to China, Japan, and with Africa, we already have a partnership with USAID where we provided grants to set up this center in February last year that is now expanded from 6,000 students to more than 60,000 with more than half a dozen academic institutions. So why are these governments and academic institutions joining EON's grant program? And what's new with the program versus what we had before? So first of all, this program enables technology like merged XR, combining digital and physical data, spatial meetings, XR campus, XR-enabled cities. And to do that, this is not just science fiction, it's based on real products that EON has. We have a product for that you have received already a demonstration for no-code creation tool EON-XR, but we also coming with 2 new products this month. One is called Merged XR, and let me just fix that. And that's for digital twin creation, so from physical to digital, and that enables you to scan any environment and automatically create a 3D model that then is injected with knowledge that is then superimposed over the physical environment, so inanimate objects get knowledge. It's quite unique, and this is an important part of building the metaverse. And once you have these objects and environments, you can share them, so you can essentially teleport yourself with a third product. And this third product enables you to teleport to a real place in real time, converse with other people, explore, discover, walk around in the hosting environment. So that's a little bit about the technology that currently is used as a part of this. Okay, so what can you do with this? I would say your fantasy puts a stop. You can use it for many things. In any environment, you can use it for IT training. So for example, this is a spatial meeting in a computer room where I had an issue, actually me recording this with my gateway, and I used spatial meetings to get guidance what to do and when to do it. Or in Spain, we have students that can, and universities that cannot afford to buy the latest MRI, the latest CNC machine, or the latest robot. So they are using our library with 1.1 million assets to create those environments to learn, train, and perform. Or if you're interested in art and history, you can see here surrounding where I'm in my living room in California, but I study art in Spain actually also. And this is my living room, you can see it here. But if I push a button, I am transformed into this location, I think in Spain 100 years ago. Or hospitals to train medical personnel, doctors and nurses, as well as patient education and patient relieving their anxiety for children in pediatric care that are using our technology. Or social science, where you do, this is a famous statue in the village I live called Laguna Beach, and we are doing a scan of the environment that then is shared with students for civic duty. Or let's say you are a nurse and you do not have access to the latest MRI, but you want to be trained on that. The doctor is in San Francisco, is an avatar. You're only using a phone, you're in your backyard, you can see there the truck driving by. You walk with your phone and you can talk, you can look under the tables, you can interact. Or you can switch this to the latest makerspace environment, or even the particle accelerator in CERN if you so wish. Or you work with a factory and you have an emergency situation, you want to train for that with your friends. Now your backyard is not big enough any longer, so you have to take this application to the streets, and you walk with your phone in the street, you meet other people, and you can train for that scenario. Or you can save lives if it's a road accident. And you have pre-recorded your avatars with nurses for tactiles and practical CPR. So those are just some examples of what you can do with this. Now, why is EON doing the grant programs? What is it in for us, so to speak? The reason is fourfold. Number one is, at the essence of our company over the last 22 years, is we believe knowledge is a human right, and we want to make it available, accessible, and affordable for everybody. So that's something that is very close to our philosophy. The second reason is we understand that building the knowledge metaverse is not something for one company, or not even 10 or 100 companies. It's something that needs to involve millions of people, eventually billions. And we have this as an instrument to build the knowledge metaverse with partners that then own their own applications. The third one is jobs. There's a lot of needs for jobs in this sector, and there's a shortage of personnel. So we need to educate people that we then can recruit. Some of them ourselves, some of them are partners, some of them are customers. And the fourth is research to identify areas where we can work with university in the research and extend the capabilities of our software.
This is a great educational tool. The students.
Now, why are customers and partners using these grants? Now, number one is, of course, to transform education. There's a clear evidence, whether it's in United States or in Honduras or in South Africa or in Ghana, that these students learn faster, retain information, and make better decisions. The other one, especially during the pandemic, we've seen pre and post the implementation of these grant programs that students increase their satisfaction, their engagement, their retention, and enrollment, which is very difficult to do in a Zoom environment. The third reason is because these academic institutions want to build their own IP and their own digital assets, right? And we do that, and we can also preserve the copyright with NFT. The last one is monetization. So the ability to, once you create the lesson, to share it, but share it for a cost. And we have a marketplace for that 42 million viewers have downloaded. So what are the concrete deliverables? So number one is, of course, the infrastructure. We cover 100% of the cost perpetually of the cloud infrastructure, which is hosted by the world's largest hosting company, Amazon Web Services. with presence in 190 locations around the world. It's the most secure, the most extensive, most reliable platform. On top of that, we also support the infrastructure for the EON platform. That now covers 5.3 billion people, so everyone that has a mobile device, a laptop, a desktop, but also our partner devices like Microsoft HoloLens, Facebook, Oculus, Apple ARKit, Magic Leap, and 30 other devices. So that's the infrastructure part. The second one is the platforms. So the EON-XR platform, the Merge-XR, the spatial meetings, all licenses are perpetual for usage of created lessons and provide also options to cover 98.4% of the creation licenses up to 5 years. The third one is hardware. So we provide, in addition to supporting all this 5.3 billion people that have devices, we also deliver 300 Humidos that converts a mobile to a virtual reality device, the 3D scanner, projector, 360 camera, the latest Apple device, Oculus, Magic Leap, and more. Know-how and resources is the fourth element, and we cover 100% of the cost required for the pedagogical and technical experts to start implementing this. So in short, it's a turnkey delivery of everything you need in order to reach success. How are the centers implemented? So the first phase is obviously to an introduction meeting, submit on application, committee determination, you've gone through all that. XR solution meeting, it's a deep dive, and then for you to accept the offer letter. Last but not least, then it's the delivery and the implementation. And that's where EON shines, because we have a very comprehensive, the success depends on the implementation. So things like, for example, the certification of all faculty members, all students, the 9-step implementation plan, the LMS integration, the workshops. For us, it's super important that this works well because you become a shining star, you become a reference site for us in a region. Thirdly, and this is the new thing, is the Metaverse Academy. And I'll come back to that, but this is the one that actually generates jobs. Ultimately, any academic institution value in the end is how well they can prepare students for jobs and help them to achieve those. And fourth, we are not stopping at the first grant. We continue beyond the first grant, working together with Learn for Life and intergovernment organization, like we did in Morocco, where we brought money from USAID, we brought money from another location from UNESCO, UNIDO, etc. So then we come to the grants. There are 3 grants. There's the Future Skill Grant. This is focusing on predominantly polytechniques, technical vocation. There's the Research Grant that's focusing on universities. And it's also containing a lot of education. So in terms of licenses, there are 5,000 student licenses in both cases and 750 internships. And last but not least, it's the national rollouts. And that's the ones I'm focusing on, like we've seen in countries in Latin America and other locations, to have a wide deployment. And even our academic partner play a big role, because as we go from one smaller grant to the bigger grants, they will be helping with the implementation. Now, the most exciting part that I feel now we have is the new Metaverse Academy. And why is that? So, because we can increase the student engagement, we can improve the value proposition for your academic partners, you as academic partners. We can also scale the internships programs that we have and ultimately help to provide job opportunities. Now, what exactly is this academy? So it's a comprehensive academy for multidisciplinary courses that contains both theory and real project-based customer engagement. So you get real references, real job experience, not only theory. It's online learning, it's online certification. It also provides matchmaking with job opportunities and global exchange student opportunities. It's very simple. Once you have accepted the offer letter, then your students become eligible for the Metaverse Academy. They subscribe online, and there's various levels, level 1, level 2 certification. And the type of courses we provide is things like XR platform creation, XR artist, XR software development, XR marketing, business development, customer success, and many more. And what's interesting is those eye-opening statistics. Here are the facts. 2.6 million jobs, new jobs are created this year alone in this industry, which will go to 4.7, eventually 23 million. And what's interesting about these jobs is that the statistics, and this is US data, but obviously it's applicable with certain adjustment in different locations, for salaries are very impressive. So whether you're administrator, developer, manager, marketing, technical, business analyst, it's quite well-paid jobs. And the proof is in the pudding. So these are some of the interns that we work with in the first round. So for example, Carl is from Paris, but I think originally he's from Senegal. Lavina still lives in Kigali, Rwanda, but works for us remotely, which, by the way, thanks to the COVID, is something that is more and more acceptable. Griffin is in New Jersey. Malia is originally from Pakistan, but now works in Toledo. Nina is from Sweden, but also here in US now. And Maria from Colombia, but is now also in United States. So now, with that said, I think I'm almost done. Average salaries here in US for this job around $70,000. With that, I thank you so much. There is, if you want more information, there is significant more. I just shared with you probably approximately 36 pages of what in actuality is a presentation that's 158 pages. But I'll spare you that for now. And if you have questions, I'm happy to take them at this time.